Okay, got it. Got it.
Such a weird interview.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. So we have just a handful of students here in person, but I know we have some virtually as well, and we're recording this so people can kind of watch this. Also, we'll post this on our website. So I just want to thank everyone for coming, virtual people as well as you all. It's really nice to actually talk to people, so I really appreciate it. So this is just an info session for our ABC Innovation Prize. And I'm just going to start off, we will get to what ABC is, right? It's one of the competitions we run through the Office of Technology, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship through the School of Viterbi School of Engineering. But first, I just want to let you know that my name is Trina Gregory. My pronouns are she, her, hers. My email is trina.gregory@usc.edu. And then this is our website specifically for our Office of Technology, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. It has a lot more information about kind of what we do and such. So just wanted to put that out there, even though. So just so you know a little bit about me, so I'm teaching faculty here. I'm officially Associate Professor of Information Technology Practice, and I'm one of the Associate Directors of Innovation and Entrepreneurship for Viterbi. So a couple of my roles. I come from a background in math, computer science, bachelor's in computer science, master's in computer science, and I'm almost finished up my doctoral degree in EDD, Doctor of Education. So that's just a little bit about me. I come from very much a tech background. After I got my bachelor's, I actually worked in industry for about 15 years before I came actually here and started teaching. But I always try to keep current with what's going on, right? So that's just so you know a little bit about myself. I mean, I do come from much more of the computer science aspect of things, but I've also been part of our office for at least 5 years. I was trying to figure out how many years. I keep on forgetting to really look. So this competition is run through our Office of Technology, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. It's actually an official office, like within Viterbi, and it's run by the Vice Dean. So one of the Vice Deans here at Viterbi, Dr. Alice Mang, and she's amazing, very accomplished, runs a biomedical engineering research lab, extremely accomplished. But through that lab, through certain competitions and programs, she's spun startups, right, and become companies off of the technologies that she's developed. And so through that knowledge, I mean, she's helping so many others do the same thing, from the faculty level, right, to staff as well as students. And that's really like, for you as students, that's what we want to do, is we want to add innovation and entrepreneurship into your education experience here at USC. So yeah, there's the site again. So that's really like our goal. And you know, some schools like Marshall School of Business will hit heavy more on the entrepreneurship side, but maybe not on the tech side. And so being here in Viterbi School of Engineering, we do really kind of focus on, I'm not dissing Marshall, by the way. What?
No one's in Marshall here.
Okay, I'm not dissing, I'm just saying, like, we're trying to say, hey, you're getting this great engineering or IYA education or science-based education, right? Well, those people tend not to get some of the entrepreneurial knowledge along the way. How do we kind of help that, right? How do we make sure when you have ideas, you know, gosh, I have really a great idea. How do we help you say, is that a valid idea? Could you turn that into a startup? Let us help you on that path, right? And let's teach you how to do that process. And you don't necessarily, you know, have to get a business MBA to do that, but we're going to help you while you're a student here. That's just, you know, that's like our goal from the student side. Now, we also do, you know, especially, you know, Dr. Meng does programs for, you know, we do programs for faculty and staff, right, that are working in research labs. But some of us, specifically like me, focus on student, you know, programs, right? That's what I like to do. I mean, I'm teaching faculty here, right? I teach programming classes. I teach, you know, like I love working with students. Like that's what I like to do. That's my thing. So and you can see kind of this is like our office, right? This is our mission, right? Educate engineers on strategies to invent, develop, integrate, and sustain technologies that address significant needs. And then that's through the school of, Viterbi School of Engineering. One of their missions is really that, engineering kind of for a reason, right? Improving lives, doing something more with your engineering degree, that engineering plus, as Dean Hartzels likes to say, right? So that really is like, that's what we want to help. So we want to help launch ventures with meaning, impact, right? For specifically, faculty, staff, and students, right? We want to help students do that. Okay. And we of course try to provide an ethical and inclusive technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship ecosystem as well. So, our goal is to really have a positive effect on you as students. We really think of engineering as problem solving, right? Engineers are, I know, you're like, oh, we're not engineers, scientists, right? Anything, right? You like to solve problems, right? If you're an IYA student, come on, right? It's that, I know that it's the intersectionality of different disciplines, right? You want to solve problems in those areas. Right, that's why and I feel like that's what I see with USC students in general, right? They're here because they want to take their knowledge and then solve problems, make the world better in some way, right? And so part of that is making sure that we're looking to see are things that we're looking at, are those real problems that we're trying to solve? And the ideas that we have, are those real solutions to those problems? And that's part of our process. So, I just want to kind of point out, like, USC is a great place for this, being that we have very much a tech startup scene in LA, right? So you can kind of, here we are here, right? But you know that this is kind of called Silicon Beach now, right? Kind of, I know. Santa Monica, Venice type area. And Pasadena has a great area as well. But there's a lot of kind of startups. This is, there's a lot of activities here in this area. And it's great to see, like, LA is the third largest tech ecosystem in the United States. It's the fastest growing tech ecosystem in the United States. LA companies are raising money, right, to do their startups. LA ranks industry-wise. There's a big video games, gaming industry, e-commerce, online media, big industry here, including like VR, AR, esports, transportation, aerospace, right? There's a lot of that here in the LA area. So yay, look at LA graduates 4 engineers than any other US city. Did you know that? Random facts. There you go. So through the office, we have this, what we call VSI squared, which is this Viterbi Student Innovation Entrepreneurship. And through that, we have lots of competitions. We have workshops, we have various events, right, that we hold, networking events, office hours, right, way that we can support you with your ideas. And so now we'll finally get to what you're here for, which is ABC, which is one of our competitions we run. So the ABC competition, officially, it comes from this idea of atoms, bits, and cells. Being like atoms are things you make, right? Bits are like digital products, and cells being like BME, biomedical type, solutions. So that's really where this idea came from, this atoms, bits, and cells. But I also like to think of it as like the ABCs, the basics of entrepreneurship. And it's really, again, we're focusing more on tech entrepreneurship, right? Hopefully there's some kind of engineering tech related solution that you're working on. So this competition, right? So this is kind of the areas that we're focusing. Hopefully your product solution, right? It could be a product or a service, something like that, but that you're working on your ideas in those areas. We have various workshops. So that's part of this whole thing, is that we have workshops to teach you about how to make sure that you're solving a good problem and that your solution helps solve that problem, that there's enough customers to do that, called customer discovery. We encourage you, we teach how to do customer discovery. We talk about how to find your users, your customers, that kind of stuff. We talk about some of the legal aspects. We talk about how to do pitches, how to raise funding, these kinds of things. So it's just kind of this, it's like teaching you a lot of these kinds of terms that you may have heard, but kind of really understanding what they are and how to actually do some of these things. So that's what we do in our workshops. So we have workshops, and then we kind of give you homework. It's like, go talk to people. Like some of your homework is like, go talk to people. Make sure, and we help you figure out who types of people you should talk to, making sure that your solution is a good fit for that problem. Or maybe you need to pivot, right? Maybe your solution needs to change depending on what those people that have the problems have, right? So figuring out their pain points, how do you do that? So that's what we focus on. In our workshops, so the applications are going to be due right at the beginning of February. So we get back from winter break, right? Semester starts, you have a little bit of time to do this, to get your application in. Then we notify you of who was accepted. We have our workshops. We're going to have a semifinals because we usually like to have about six teams present at the finals, right? And then the top 3 teams will each be awarded $1,000, and that's just $1,000. So you can take it and go. I don't know. Maybe help push it forward. There's also actually opportunities in here for prototype funding too. So it's usually around $500 that we also do if you want to do some prototype funding, or access to certain things like our makerspace, the Baum Family Makerspace. So you want to 3D print some parts and that kind of stuff. We have those kinds of resources. And then we also try to pull in any other resources that you may need and try to make those industry contacts for you. So that's a little bit about the kind of schedule about ABC. When it comes to the teams, one thing I forgot to put was kind of the requirements is we want to see a Viterbi student on your team. So you apply as a team. We'd like to see a Viterbi student. We want it, time workshop 1, we need to have a Viterbi student on your team. And then the workshops themselves, we need to have at least 1 person on your team at every workshop, right? And part of the workshops also is like that you get to tell us where you are, what your status is, and we get to give you feedback on what kind of steps to do next. And it's it's very much like right. We do a little bit of lecturing, but we also do a lot of individual, with the teams figuring out what you need and such, and maybe what contacts you need, or kind of different areas to think about. So this is a competition that's for undergrads. So this is something that we promote for undergrads. So don't invite grad students on your team. Sorry, are you grad students? What? So don't invite grad students on your team. We specifically want it to be for undergrads. Some of our other programs are like we run MEPC and MFC. These are some other programs we run, and we will get ideas that come out of research labs, right? And so these would be master's students or PhD students. So we promote our other competitions for them. This competition is specifically for undergrads. So you can take these really, new ideas, right? If you have new ideas, you can actually take them and we'll push them forward, whatever stage they're at. Yeah, so that's a little bit about that. I also have office hours. So I do 4 hours of office hours each week during all the semesters. So at any time you can also, look and see if you want to sign up and just want to talk about your ideas, even before the application or even outside of the application, even outside of the competition, right? You feel free to contact me. And that also that gives me a chance to talk to you and say, oh, do you need help, or do you need me to connect you with other people? So we do that as well. And then we have our mailing list. So the best thing, if you haven't signed up for a mailing list, is to sign up for our mailing list, because that way you'll be on the email when it says, hey, applications are due, right? There you go. So there's, make sure you sign up for an email list. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, see, it's not long. Go for it. So teams can be, I mean, in the application, I think we do up to 5, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have, I just say the ones that have applied by themselves tend not to do as well. Even if it's 2 people, right? You have that a way to bounce off ideas off of each other and kind of keep each other on track as well.
For the February deadline application, do we have to know like what our product is going to be by then, or is it just like
an idea of it? Yes. Hopefully you understand at least the kind of problem you're trying to solve and some idea of what it is. But it doesn't have to be fully fleshed out. Yeah, it's kind of an open, it's like a form-based, you put in your ideas and stuff. So we just want to hear kind of what area you're going into and seeing how we can help you. And hopefully that it seems a problem we're solving too. There's one thing I show some of my students is there was a patent for scuba gear for dogs. And I consider that a problem not worth pursuing, right? Most dogs don't want to scuba dive, and like just going through that process, it's just a waste of money to put in time and effort into something that just it's not helpful to me. So, there's things like that, right? We want to make sure that it's like a problem we're solving.
But I think, okay.
It was the dog story, I know.
Final, is that kind of like the general competition? Because you go through the workshops to build, create.
Exactly. Yes, and so you'll be giving your basically your kind of first draft of your pitch about, oh, this is what we did, right? This is the problem, this is how we want to solve it, and this is maybe like our prototype that we have.
Does it have to be like a low fidelity or like a high fidelity prototype?
It can be a low fidelity, yes. Yeah. And that's why kind of we built it in the schedule time for you to say, okay, I've done my workshop, right? I'm getting to semifinals, but we wanted a little bit of time here, right? So you have time to be like, oh, how do I improve things, right? Even though I know, even with the whole crazy, school schedule, right? But still, like, it gives you a little bit of time that you can say, okay, I'm gonna work on it and make things better.
Like workshops.
Typically, they're typically about 1.5. We sometimes we'll schedule them for 2 hours, but a lot of times we try to keep them around 1.5 hours. Yeah. So it's, you think about it, right? So we're talking 3 3 1.5 hour sessions, and then a semifinals. Yeah, yes. So generally I lead the workshops. I may bring in some people to help throughout the process. Sometimes I'll bring into someone like, hey, come in and, especially if there's a team I want you to talk to, right? Stuff like that. And then we do have, so I tend to lead these. We have through some of our other programs, we have our legal workshop. And so we actually invite you guys to attend that as well, just because when we get, lawyers in to do a workshop, it's just beneficial. You know what? That's a great question. And, I was just thinking that it's funny because this one is like, I should show some past examples. And one thing, I will go through the long thing. I will show you. So last year, I just showed some sample. So one of my so I had some sample. Here's some sample pitch decks, right? So some from past, and I just made them PDFs, right? So people could see them. But you can see that they're talking about, oh, what is the problem, right? So this was Marlink. They were working on wireless underwater communication, right? That's, this is and they developed a communication device. It was really cool, and did like a prototype. And some of it, like some of these ideas, one of them was like interning at JPL. So that's where some of these ideas came from. But it was really cool because we were able to give them some money to do some prototyping, right? Even if it's just, you know, in a little tank of water, right? We were giving them some money to prove their ideas. So that was one of them. And that's very tech focused. I get it. This was another one, my GI buddy, which, so you can see here, regarding GI bacteria. Right? So you're like, you just never know, right? What people's backgrounds and kind of studies come from. So this is kind of what we would say in the cells kind of category. And so they were talking about this, and you know, this device, and then a mobile app that helped them, you know, kind of blow in and detect certain bacterias. So again, kind of an interesting one. And then this one, see, and this is why I like to show these, because like all over the board, to a skateboard lock, right? To someone's like, my skateboard got stolen, right? And he did a whole thing, and you know, and he got some statistics about skateboard stolen. And so he developed a lock that could be hooked onto any skateboard and then had an app that would warn you if someone tried to move it and such. So, right? So, I mean, we're talking all kinds of different ways. I mean, all kinds of fun, different ideas. So that kind of gives you some idea. That kind of cool? Like, you know, there's no kind of set thing, right? It's you can kind of you know, it's like what kind of problems do you see? And I always tell students, like, well, what do you experience every day that you think that could be made better, right? Or is there something that, you know, whether you do an internship or you're working with friends or something that you see that you're like, how could we make this better, right? And designing that. And so the goal is like to talk to people who have that problem. How could we actually solve this? And hopefully there's some technology involved with that. It could be a digital product, right? But how could we make this more efficient? I think last time we had some AI people. Yes, okay.
How early can you get access to the makerspace?
So yeah, so usually that's a thing that we can cover, is the 3D printing costs. Yeah, I'm looking at.
You just cover it here, can we do it that way?
So usually we just work with the Bond Makerspace because it's for Viterbi students. Yeah. I don't know the requirements for the IOA Makerspace. I know it's amazing, but I don't know the requirements.
I need to be IOA student just to get like training center, but like that's because like I know all the stuff there. I just know it's like you get reimbursed. Like it's like some like I think basically pretty accepting printing.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So I mean, we'll figure that out, right? But that's something that, you know, our office, you know, that's a big thing that we want to be able to help do, because there's a lot of times you want to like prototype stuff and you can print, right? So from hey, we'll give you filament, right? We'll buy you filament so you can, because a lot of times that's what the cost is covering, and the maintenance of the machines. But a lot of times, you know, it's like, we will give you filament, you go in there and they'll let you use the printers. It's cool, right? And yeah, questions? Awesome. Other questions? Let's see. Oh, yes, you're welcome to unmute. Other people that are here? Oh yeah, too short. Okay, too short. Awesome. Other questions? No? Okay. eat pizza if you're hungry. We have pizza in the back and some soda, so feel free.
We'll send the slide deck out.
We'll send the slide deck out. I feel like I might add in a slide that just says, make sure, like, usually, I mean, we've had bigger teams, but generally, they, 5 is enough, so that's what the application has. Yes, I mean, there was that one year we had like 8 people on a team. I was like, they kept adding people. I was like, okay. What? I guess I don't know. But so we've had, but generally it's like about 5 people or up to 5 people.
Like, if you like do a certain problem, like you need to add someone like during
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
time,
Absolutely, yeah. And we've seen that a lot, and actually I think that's really good, right? We've had that where someone's like, oh, I really wanted to bring like a design person in, right? And you're like, oh, okay, let's grab, let's add them in. And yeah, that's why we really support the cross, these cross teams that come from different, from different schools or different backgrounds. Because then you can actually build a better product. I can say that because if you don't have if you have just all engineers with no design in them, then it's important. It's very important. So thank you all. Thank you for coming. Yay. Thank you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching the video.